Hi everyone, my name is Ariana for those of you who don't know me, but I am assuming it's a lot of my friends and family watching, so hi guys. Before I forget, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay guys, I'm just here to get comfortable. I'll start off with the obvious. I decided to make a YouTube channel. I've been wanting to do YouTube for a while now. It was even about a year ago. I created like a workout video and it was edited and everything, but I just never posted it. I don't think it was the right time for me. So I've really been taking time to pray and think about, if this is something that's for me, my purpose of doing a YouTube channel. I have a horrible habit of starting things and not finishing them. So I am determined to break that habit. But I do feel like I'm at a place in my life where, I want to do this and, God could use this. So as I was thinking about, my first video and, how I should introduce myself, I really felt like it was necessary to share with you guys the most important part about myself, which is the fact that I am a Christian and that I love Jesus. So as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my testimony. So if you don't know what a testimony is, it's basically just a personal story about yourself of what led you to your faith. Was there a specific moment? Was there a specific event or events that led you to make the decision to follow Christ? For me, it was a series of events that led me to where I am today. So I'll just start off by sharing with you guys a little background of how I grew up. So I was born and raised in the church, so I grew up in a Christian home. So going to church twice a week was pretty much the norm for my family. I was very involved with church events. I was in Christmas plays, I helped out in outreaches, fundraisers, whatever church had, I was there. Fast forward to middle school. Middle school was a good time in my life. I was still very naive. My parents would disagree, but my siblings and I were very much sheltered. I lived in a bubble pretty much, and within that bubble was church, family, school, and sports. So I had no understanding of what the world is capable of doing, the hurt and the damage that it could do to an individual. It wasn't until high school is when my perspective on life really changed. High school was a big game changer for me. I believe that high school could either make or break an individual, and for me, it broke me. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my identity. So I was constantly searching for approval, acceptance from either my friends, from boys, from just people overall. That constant search caused me to make decisions that weren't right. In life, you make choices, and those choices either have a negative or positive consequence, and my choices definitely led to the negative side. I was definitely living these two separate lives. I was very much involved in the church, like I said, but my life, outside of church did not demonstrate anything of God. I don't like to say that I have regrets, because I do believe, you learn from your mistakes, but that is something that I wish I could go back and do over, is really show people, God, and show people what a Christian should look like, because, I definitely wasn't that. that mentality of, seeking something that, I was trying to find, trying to like look for something to fill that void, pretty much lasted all the way until I was 22. I was definitely searching for something that only God could give. So I constantly felt like, going to different things. At 21, I did what 21-year-olds do. I, went out, drank, went to bars, clubs, I did all that. At 22, I got involved in a serious relationship. The person that I got involved with was somebody that I knew from high school, so we had a long history, that grew into love, and my feelings grew for him over time. The way that I could describe that relationship was very highs and lows. I knew certain things weren't right, but I was hoping for better, and having that mentality of, I could fix things, but our relationship remained the same. At a little bit before I turned 23, I started noticing a difference within myself, and at the time I was just thinking, that I was maturing. But now looking back, I do see that that was the start of God working in me, kind of tugging at my heart. I stopped wanting to go out. I stopped wanting to drink. I stopped wanting to hang out with certain people, and I started having, thoughts of, I've been raised in the church for so long and I don't even know who God is, So at 23, I decided to get baptized. And this was a significant event in my life. I knew the decision that I was making. I knew the meaning of baptism. I wanted to live a life that glorified God. I was just so tired of, compromising, and kind of, basically being 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I was determined to, what, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it all the way. So, that was pretty much the start of me making this decision to follow Christ. A couple months after, I got engaged, and I was thrilled. I was thinking to myself, wow, like things are finally coming together for me. I'm going to be a wife and have a husband and build a family, and do all these things that I dreamt up as a little girl. Pretty much, excited for that idea. But my relationship with that individual was the same, was still, highs and lows throughout the whole thing. But because God was doing something in my life, I was so determined that if we have God, then, it'll work, So I was pushing, God to be the center of our relationship. All my time and energy was invested in that relationship. And looking back, I do see how I was neglecting my personal relationship. I was so consumed with wanting that relationship to grow when I myself wasn't even growing. Towards the end of that relationship, it got really bad. I was just very drained and tired, and to the point where you just start feeling like sick and you're not yourself. It was one day I was on my way to work, and I prayed a prayer that I never prayed before, and that was for God's will to be done in my life. And that was the first time I ever prayed something like that. It was always before, God, I want this. God, please help this. God, I want this relationship to work, But for God's plan in my life, I never prayed for that. You know, so, you know, I was just so transparent with God and just asking him to help me with that. You know, if this isn't your plan, God, I'm letting go, and just be with me, because I'm not going to be able to do this, you know, alone. I was just like, this will be the end of everything, you know. It wasn't until, it was honestly like a couple days after that, if it wasn't clear before, like it was crystal clear to me that this relationship just wasn't gonna work. So we decided to end it. And since then, it's been hard. You know, I had to go through all the emotions of a breakup, you know, and, you know, besides going through that, you know, I have family problems that arise. You know, during this time is when lockdown and COVID and everything, so a lot has been coming at me. You know, it's definitely not this thing where like you have Jesus in your life now and, you know, everything goes up. It's an exponential journey. Like, no, it's not that. You know, the difference is though is that I do have hope and I do have peace, which is something I've never had before. You know, for the first time in my life, I'm trusting God. I know that he's taking care of me and that my life is in his hands. I don't know what my life is gonna look like in 5 years. I don't even know what tomorrow's gonna look like, but I know that God is taking care of me. For the first time, I'm reading my Bible. I'm really getting to know who God is, for myself, and building that personal relationship. You know, before when I would open the Bible, like it just felt like it was just, you know, you read it and then you close it. Like, no, like I'm understanding, I'm taking what I read with me every single day of my life and I'm applying it to my life. So I just want to encourage you, you know, if you feel alone, you feel hopeless, you know, you are loved by somebody and there are people that you could talk to. If you have any questions as far as what I talked about today, you know, please, like, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to talk to you. I want to end on a scripture, and this scripture is in Isaiah 41:10, and it says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And that to me is just so comforting and a reminder to me that, you know, my life is in God's hands. You know, he's taking care of me, and, you know, and it can be scary, you know, but, you know, trusting in him is worth it, you know, because I feel loved, and a love that I never felt before. So thank you guys for watching. I look forward to posting more videos. As I post more, you guys will get to know who I am. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. Bye guys. Mwah.